So this series of events, you can piece them together and arrive at wherever you like. But like I said, it's kind of like gives more, produces more questions than answers. So in 2023, the Lagos State government, without what I believe any court judgment that said this Olorun Ologbo is the owner of the land, still granted a CFO to this person, probably to help our case, to say, well, see, I've got your CFO here. And the government can say, they can revoke your CFO. You understand? So if you are holding one, it is as valid as the government says it is. So now let's now say two occupants or two owners are holding CFOs, courtesy of same governments. In all of this, Obi's brother or and his partners, according to Obi, they were not notified. And according to court documents, they were not notified. But in 2024, when the court now ruled in their favor, to go and collect the land, so they approached the police. That judgment that said they should go and claim the land, they said they went to the gate of the building, pasted it, took pictures, then took it off. So here is another one. That simply means we can ask if in 2024 they were already established sort of like, you know, a friction, like maybe when they came to paste something or when the police invited them. But here is a document to possibly review, right? That could likely give us answer on that, okay? So, sorry, one sec. Because here, if their petition shows that they wrote the police in order to help them execute this court judgment, when was that? So now here is the answer. There is a court judgment that, there is a court judgment that was given in May 2024. Sorry, I mean, I didn't put this up, so I'm trying to kind of like find it where. So in 2023, they instituted the case. In 2024, this was the police petition. So in this is it. In 2024, they got what is like the court ruling. Now here is the court ruling that said they can go and take the possession, the originating this and that. If you look at the third paragraph of this, if you can see it on the screen, right? The third paragraph. Consequently, the request of the claimant is granted. Possession of 57 Oduduwa Crescent is granted in favor of the claimant. So the cost summarily assessed as 2 million naira. See that part, right? Now, the question we would probably want to ask, for those who are interested though, right, is that between that May 2024, did they not make attempts to reach out to the occupier? So the answer is no, they didn't. Even if they claim to have, right? No, it was in June this month, meaning a year later, you know, is when they decided to report it to the police. The police invited the squatter, and whatever they discussed between the 2nd of June and 17th of June, the mind was made up. So the next question is, there is no court order that said the building should be demolished, but maybe the word possession or repossession in this kind of like a frame may mean the person should claim the land, not the building. So, and they chose to just demolish it. Now let's go back to 2023 to look at the factor where Peter Obi said this whole thing, they've targeted. He actually put out a tweet, a very long one on X, where he specifically pointed fingers towards Tinubu's people who have been doing everything to persecute people around him, including himself, in what he termed as, the state-sponsored attack on him, on his business, enough that he could possibly run away and leave Nigeria, sort of, and he won't. That they have now extended it to his loved ones, his family members, and all that. The position that some people are saying is like crying wolf. What do you mean? There is a missing thing here. All right? Like I said, I don't know what you will make of it. Okay? But I've given you this information. We've not yet fully from both sides, but with the available information, it is now beyond the unknown versus unknown. We now know a lady called Oluwalogbon. Let me put her up a little bit again. Now, this is just, for record purpose, okay? So if you take a look at, give me a sec. Which of them? Please bear with me, okay? Now, if you take a look at the certificate of occupancy, right, that was granted in 2025. So now we know who is Oluwalogbon, that demolished Peter Obi's brother's business. So the next thing now is to find out, who is she? Is she just a front for something probably bigger? Can we see this as, administrative flaw, error or something? Or, or there is more to it? I think time will tell. Okay. So when Rufai said Tinubu and his gang, they don't play fair. Do you know that after that interview and all that, right? And all Rufai said, that same evening, some thugs, they've taken over the secretariat of this SDP, the party that Rufai joined, the party that he wanted the coalition to use in challenging Tinubu last night. Political thugs, they invaded their national secretariat in Abuja, demanding for the chairman to resign and leave Tinubu. However, Ndume, Ali Ndume, has something to say, because according to him, those who are decamping in the face of this national hardship and insecurity, they are mocking Nigerians. So it's going to end up as, if Tinubu doesn't change, it is going to end, their 2027 is going to end up as Nigerians versus them. And he called Onofunuga, he called him a domestic dog or a domestic servant that he won't honor with any response. But again, there is more, because Kolu himself has now responded to this talk of coalition. He called them politically, internally displaced persons that everybody should ignore. Now to the political part. Ndume.
So that's where the simmering anger is coming from, isn't
it? And but as you see, Amechi worked for the president. I can tell you that.
You mean after he lost? He then
after he lost.
sort of started working.
He was part of the PCC.
Right.
And our team, like Burate, the former IG, and many others, joined hands. Rufai was supposed to be on our side. And somehow, he moved over. And I think these are part of the things that are annoying him or frustrating. I think...
When you say he moved off, what do you mean?
He was on our side.
Yeah. You said he was supposed to be on your side.
Yeah, Amachi's side.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So after Tinubu was nominated...
No. Before Tinubu was nominated,
right,
he made up his mind to support Tinubu.
Okay.
And Tinubu, as he rightly said,
right,
that he should not leave and that he should come on board. So, since then, I've not been that to Rufai.
Right.
Because he abandoned our group. You understand? Went to support Tinubu fully.
Right.
And, he really mobilized, he did a lot. Then, Tinubu is there, asked him to join the government. But somehow, up to now, Charles, I don't understand what happened,
You mean between
them?
Yeah,
but that is not my business. And I was there sometimes say, okay, you did that to us, so. but
it's payback.
It's a payback to yourself.
Right.
But I cannot understand up to now. I was the chief whip. Rufai came to the chamber and we almost asked him to take a bow and go, or even to just lay out some plans.
Right. That is after he had been nominated as minister.
Yes. And I told you, I'm not a Rufai's fan or friend or anything, but truth must be told. You see, that was where Mr. President got it wrong. You don't form your government with dependence. And most of it is the president is a kingmaker, remember? So when the kingmaker becomes a king, then there is a problem which he must identify himself so that he can have people that will stand up to him and tell him the truth. This is now what is lacking in this government. And when I said, and I still stand on it until there is a change, the government of Tinubu is dominated by kakistocrats and kleptocrats. I don't want to even respond to Bayo where you say it's a long
That's
word.
Bayo Onanuga, the presidential spokesman.
Bayo Onanuga is just in Nigeria. He is a domestic staff to the president. I am a senator 4 times. How dare he calls me, but I'm happy he called me lone wolf. He's a magadog.
Well, you forgot the word frustrated. He said frustrated lone wolf.
No, I'm not frustrated. I contested for
I didn't
Senate.
say you were. I'm saying that's what he called you.
Charles, why would I be frustrated? I contested to be a senator. I won 4 times. I won 2 times in the House of Reps. Where does the frustration come? Got it wrong. You don't form your government with dependence. And most of it is the president is a kingmaker, remember? So when the kingmaker becomes a king, then there is a problem which he must identify himself so that he can have people that will stand up to him and tell him the truth. This is now what is lacking in this government. And when I said, and I still stand on it until there is a change, the government of Tinubu is dominated by kakistocrats and kleptocrats. I don't want to even respond to Bayo where you say it's a long
That's
word.
Bayo Onanuga, the presidential spokesman.
Bayo Onanuga is just in Nigeria. He is a domestic staff to the president. I am a senator 4 times. How dare he calls me, but I'm happy he called me lone wolf. He's a magadog.
Well, you forgot the word frustrated. He said frustrated lone wolf.
No, I'm not frustrated. I contested for
I didn't
Senate.
say you were. I'm saying that's what he called.
Ndume. So that was him there trying to let you know that from the start, he was working for Amechi, and Amechi came second. Tinubu reached out to them, then he changed his mind, and the rest is history. But he strongly believes that he is in a position to tell Tinubu the truth. And if things remain as they are, no matter how many mega dogs that Tinubu unleashes on them, he won't even mind to leave APC. That's what he said. He said, I won't mind to leave in this part.
And I put it to you, Malam.
So that's where the simmering anger is coming from, isn't it?
Yeah, and but you know, as you see, Amechi worked for, and one of those, as I told you, until recently when he became the president, I used to go to, Tinubu's bedroom, both in Bodilon and here in Lagos House. And he knows me very well. And if we meet casually, he will tell me, I hear you. Charles, I'm 65. I've been in this business 24 years now. God has done everything to me.
You've been very fortunate.
Yes, very, very fortunate. The only thing I have to do right now, and I would prefer to die doing it, is to speak the truth and do what is right. And that is what I believe. That's why I will not jump the ship. Right. But when the ship is getting overloaded with unnecessary cargo, and that ship may capsize, then I better consider the small, watch out, the small ship.
You mean the little boats that are around the place? Well, let's look at those boats, because you were the Director General of Rotimi Amechi's campaign when he was running against President Tinubu to be the APC nominee in 2023. And he came second, beating out the likes of the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo and many others. He was finally beaten, albeit by a wide margin, by Bola Tinubu. So you did a pretty good job as the DG of his campaign.
Yeah. We had 315 votes. We gave them a good fight. And then after that, we thought things would go on fine, actually. Because I remember vividly that Tinubu, the governor of Lagos, the current Minister of Defense, and who else, came to, Tinubu called me to say he wants to come and meet with myself, Amechi, and so we agreed. And at that time, I remember I was to go for Hajj.
You were to go for?
Hajj.
Okay, right.
And so the president said, look, we want you to come on board and let's work together. And we agreed. And then we agreed that we will meet after I come back. And that meeting did not hold. That was how they abandoned Amechi.
Right.
So it's not his fault.
So that's where the simmering anger is coming from.
That's right. But an APC ally, one of the Tinubu's, stronger defenders, and in fact, every time I look at him, he actually reminds me of the late Jesu Tega or Nokpasa. He called all these guys noisemakers. But why? You should listen.
And I put it to you, Malam Rufai should be disregarded. He's a rabble-rouser. He's a rabble-rouser because, one, this was the Kaduna state that he ran for 8 years. he can't even go back there freely, because the members of House of Assembly, they took a vote on his government, and it was a vote of no confidence on his government. So what is his pride? Why does he think that the northern Nigeria will follow him in his dance of Macabre? Why does he think so? Why does he think that he controls the northern Nigeria? Who gave him that confidence that he's Mr. Right in Nigeria, and what he says makes meaning?